हेलो गाइस, मैं लाइव हूँ। यू कैन आस्क वट एवर क्वेश्चन और क्वेरी हैव। कोई आया है क्या? कोई नहीं आया। कौन आया? ये क्वेश्चन आंसर सीरीज है। क्वेश्चन आंसर लाइव है, तो आंसर लाइव है। कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हो। यू कैन आस्क वट एवर यू वांट रिगार्डिंग एबाकस सिमुलेशन। वेट करते हैं, अगर कोई आया तो देखते हैं। ये मेरा पहला लाइव है क्वेश्चन आंसर का। तो अगर एबाकस सिमुलेशन के रिलेटेड कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हो। You can ask anything, I'll answer over here. पूछो पूछो पूछो, ask anything related to ABAQUS simulation. You can type in chat whatever your problem, जो भी प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हो ABAQUS सिमुलेशन में पूछो। I'll answer here live. Or even if you want to ask anything about finite element simulation, ask me anything, जो भी पूछना है। वेट करते हैं, देखते हैं कोई आता है कि नहीं। कैमरा कहाँ पर होता है कि कहीं से? कैमरा पूछो पूछो, आस्क मी एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट, आस्क मी एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट। पूछो। कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं, कोई तो आ जाओ। आस्क एनीथिंग दैट यू वांट। दीपेश जैसी प्रदेश मनी, हा हा हा। पता नहीं यार, तुमको मनी चाहिए या मनी दे रहे हो, आई डोंट नो। बट दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन। ये क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन है, तो इसमें पैसा नहीं चाहिए। हाँ, अगर मैं टाइम इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ कहीं पे जहाँ पे मैं सिमुलेशन करता हूँ तो उसमें मनी चाहिए। वो फ्री में तो मैं नहीं करूँगा। अगर तुम्हें लगता है फ्री चाहिए तो तुम दिल्ली जा सकते हो, दिल्ली में बहुत फ्री डीज अवेलेबल है। तो इफ यू वांट me to work for you, then I don't need money. Then definitely you'll have to pay for it. There is nothing free. I don't know what is this free mentality. You want me to solve your problem and then again you think of getting it free. How can you even, how can it be possible? But yes, here I'll ask your questions. I'll answer your questions because here I don't have to do any simulations. I just have to I just have to answer your questions straight away, so I don't need any money. I think दीपेश जैसी पाउडर समथिंग नेम इज देयर भाई ने अपना मैसेज रिट्रैक्ट कर दिया यू हैव रिट्रैक्टेड योर मैसेज इट्स ओके नो प्रॉब्लम and again I'm repeating here you don't have to pay anything because definitely I'm not doing any simulations over here and to be honest if you want any kind of simulation that I have to solve it for you then if I have to do it for you, then definitely you'll have to pay for it. Nothing is free in this world. Remember. Okay, ask me any questions that you have or any doubt you have regarding abacus simulation or any finite element analysis. Come on. Pin message. Pin the message. Ask your questions to abacus simulation. On. पूछो कोई तो कुछ पूछो मतलब वेट कोई अगर ज्वाइन करता है कुछ बोलता है तो ठीक है वरना हम कैंसिल कर देंगे तो जब तक के कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आता है until unless we are getting any questions so I'll be talking something about abacus so देखो abacus जो सॉफ्टवेयर होता है ना see if someone want me to speak in English they can just write in chat box else I'll prefer Hindi तो क्या होता है इनिशियली मॉडलिंग बहुत इजी रहता है abacus सॉफ्टवेयर में बट द प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट जब तुम एनालिसिस स्टेप में जाते हो जैसे कि इंटरेक्शन में जाते हो एनालिसिस स्टेप है किस टाइप का स्टेप सिलेक्ट करना है या फिर कौन सा इंटरेक्शन देना है कौन सा बाउंड्री कंडीशन लगाना है प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पर स्टार्ट होता है सो अगर एबाकस में प्रोजेक्ट करने का सोच रहे हो तो लाइक तुमको पता रहना चाहिए यू हैव टू नो ईच एंड एवरीथिंग अबाउट योर प्रॉब्लम like let's say if you want to model uh, RCC building I'll take that example because that is the most common example we have okay my model is a pavement why is there no increment of deformation when we increase the number of loading surfaces the pavement why is there no increment of deformation when we increase number of loading cells Ishanka, can you please reframe your question? I didn't get it. Pavement, your model is pavement. I can read it. And there is no increment of deformation. Means deformation is not increasing when you are increasing the loading cycles. See, there are two cases. I don't know what you have done in your model. First thing is if you are loading, see, cycles means what? Uh, with respect to time your magnitude sign is changing okay so if you take the sine curve okay so initially it is positive then it crosses the axis and it goes to the negative direction now the problem here is if you are keeping the magnitude same for both the speed or for each cycle if you are keeping the magnitude same for example for each cycle you are giving a load of 10 kilonewton then how can you expect it to be increased? No, you cannot expect to that your model will give you higher deformation for the same value of loading until and unless you are considering the fatigue effect. So अगर fatigue को ईशांका दीप्ति I don't know whether you understand Hindi or English Hindi or not मुझे पता नहीं so whenever you are writing your questions please specify the language so it becomes easier for me. So what happens if you are considering the fatigue effect So for consideration of fatigue, you have to go through the subroutine process. You cannot just use the default user interface in Abacus to consider the fatigue effect. Yes, there are options where you can uh, simulate the low cycle fatigue. So you can use those cases, but it is better to use Fortran coding for fatigue simulation for because for each iteration, for each loading sequence, your strain accumulation has to be noted down. For example, for first 10 kilonewton load, if your strain is 0.01, and when you are applying the second 10 kilonewton load, if your strain is 0.015, then something has to record your strain accumulation like 0.01 plus 0.015. Likewise, then only you'll be getting that effect of multiple iteration of load. But what happens if you are not considering that fatigue effect, and if you are directly simulating with a static general or dynamic implicit, and if you are not increasing the load magnitude, then definitely you will not get higher deformation. So Ishanka, if you can reframe your questions, if you can give me some more details like whether you are changing your loading magnitude or not, and what type of steps you are considering, then it would be easier for me to answer your question. Direct questions are very difficult to answer in case of Abacus simulation. Abacus is a mystery software. The software itself is a like initially, as I was talking at the beginning, initially it seems very easy that you can model this model, you can make any model in this software, but later it becomes difficult. How to know if the damage has actually happened in concrete? What is the indicating factor? Damage parameter shows the evaluation of damage, but how do I know if failure has occurred? See, the best option. See, failure means what? First, you have to identify. Software is a dumb thing. Software doesn't understand anything. Whatever input you are giving, it will consider that. So if you remember while giving the yield stresses, let's say I'm considering that you have considered the elastoplastic model. So you have given the elasticity property modulus of elasticity Poisson's ratio, then you give a plastic property. You go to plastic and you select a specific model. Let's say I'm considering simple plastic. Then there you enter the yield stress and plastic strain. So plastic strain means what? The strain which is not elastic after plastic. Okay. So in case of uh, in case of concrete, the it is assumed that once the that ultimate load and corresponding strain has reached, then it considers the failure of the particular material. Now, how to understand? You just check the PEEQ. There is a term in the result that equivalent plastic strain, PEEQ. If that value you are getting, that means your model has the material that you are using in your model has started failing. And if that value is not present there, then you can say that the material has not reached its yield stress that you have defined in your material property. And for concrete, it is very easy. If you are considering concrete damage plasticity, there you can enter the damage parameters. It becomes very easy to identify. If you are getting the damage parameter value, that means damage is occurred. And if not, then there is no such damage. And failure has occurred or not. So there are this can be another way that you can just check the PEQ value, equivalent plastic strain, or you can simply plot the load versus displacement curve. Just check from where it is bending. So that is your peak load, and you can consider that the failure as well. Shows the evolution of damage. But I am really confused. What is the value I should be looking at? PEQ is sufficient if you are first of all, you have to check what is the material model you are considering. If you are considering concrete damage plasticity for a concrete, because I can't see, yes, you are considering concrete. So simply consider damage parameters. Why you are worried about this PEQ, etc. Damage parameter itself is an indicator that your damage is occurred. If you are getting damage T and damage C values, that means your damage is occurred. There is no other. That's the best option. Why you are looking for PEQ value if you are using concrete. Concrete damage plasticity itself is a best parameter to judge that the material has damaged. And the, the best thing about concrete damage plasticity is it gives the both tension and compression failure. So even if your material has failed with your tension or compression, you can get that value easily, or you can just track it easily. And the damage parameter values, if you just check, it will be zero till the yield point. Once it has crossed the yield point, then the value starts. Does occurrence of damage means failure, or does this show? See, again, you are contradicting. You are contradicting the question. See, failure and occurrence of damage. See, if you consider a column, simple. Let's say if this is your column, okay, if this is your column, and a part of it, like let's say you have simulated with concrete for this column, and we have seen that concrete damage plasticity values are occurring at certain points. That doesn't mean that the whole column has failed. Okay, that means that part, that portion where concrete damage plasticity values are visible, like damage T and damage C values are visible, that those parts are started, those parts have started cracking. Okay, damages have started on that part. Now, if you want to know whether your complete model has failed or not, you have to plot the load versus displacement curve, and the point where it is coming down after touching the peak value, that is your ultimate point. So you can just track it, putting two windows side by side, and then connecting both the viewports together, and then play the animation. And from there, you can track at which point it is filled, or at which point it is going down. So likewise, you can. So that's the mod. That's what I was telling you. Initially, I remember you told me about money. Ha ha ha. See, why I take money? You have to understand. It's not an easy job to make a simulation work in Abacus. It's not an easy job. Sometimes it becomes. I've been working for last 4 to 5 years, and it becomes difficult for me sometimes also to solve a problem. Why? Because software is a Abacus is a mystery software. I I know many things, but still I claim that I don't know 5% of your of the software. Yes, you can see, you if you want to, if you really willing to pay money, then simply contact through my WhatsApp. I have my WhatsApp details over there on my channel. Go to my channel. There is about option. There you will get my contact details, contact, because see, you are not getting your load versus displacement curve. It should come down. Whatever material you are testing, whatever model you are testing, it should come down. That means you have certain errors in your model. I have to go through that model. Here I cannot just tell you that, okay, this is the problem with your model. Your curve should come down. And if it is not coming down, if you are willing to pay money, then simply contact from my WhatsApp. I have my contact details given uh, in my channel. Go to any video, click on any video, go to the description. There WhatsApp details are given, email is given. Just contact for it. Definitely I'll solve it. But here, whatever questions you have asked me, I have tried to answer as much as I can. But why your model is not coming, load versus dispersion is not coming, that I have to look into. Okay. So thank you. And if anyone else is having, you can share the live chat with your friends, with your college, if they want to ask anything about finite element analysis also, other than the Abacus software. So if I can answer, then definitely I'll answer about the finite element analysis. Come up, ask me. Okay, really, this is my first live, and I'm really excited to answer your question. And initially, I was telling that Abacus is a mystery software because you need to know each and everything of your. Does force displacement plot horizontal going horizontal means failure? See, going failure you can't say means your model is showing still showing the same behavior, or I could say there is no definite yield point. If you remember, for higher steel grade, you know, if you remember for mild steel, we get the curve comes very nicely downward. But for HISD bar, the curve never comes downward. It goes like this. It goes like this. If this is your axis, it goes like this, and then it bends and it goes like this. So we take 0.2% of strain to find out the yield point. So your case is similar. So like you do not have a definite failure point, but yes, it can be corrected. I have to check the model. I have to go through the model. Then only I can say what is the problem with your model. Why it is not coming down. It should come down. No way. There are some you need to correct your model. There are something wrong with your model definition, boundary condition, or material property. Something is wrong. It should come down. And the main problem with ABAQUS is convergence. Convergence is the biggest issue, biggest problem in ABAQUS. Uh, Most of the people they contact me about the convergence problem. They just say that the model is not convergent. So that's the primary issue because you do not know. Initially, it seems very easy for you to make the model in ABAQUS software, and when you come to steps and definition of interaction, and when you get your first error like too many increments, you get confused because see too many increments. When the software gives an error like too many increments, that means it could be due to any reason. It could be due to mesh problem, mesh type, or material property definition, improper unit definition. Even if your units are not consistent, then even if your density is not in correct unit, then the correct definition of step, correct definition of boundary condition, it could be anything. It could be anything. So the simple answer for too many increments cannot be given. What does the negative eigenvalue means? Negative eigenvalue. See, eigenvalue and eigenvector. If you remember uh, the, the formula, what is the formula for eigenvalue and eigenvector for calculation? Uh, K into x equal to m, or yes, K into x equal to f, m plus kx, m plus kx equal to f. I could not remember that exact formula for eigenvalue calculation, but negative eigenvalue means there are some negative, like your, if you remember that matrix of K matrix, okay, negative eigenvalue means your diagonal matrices. Like when I try to find out the frequencies, okay, then we solve the equation k into x equal to omega square, something like that. I've just forgotten that equation. Uh, the dynamic equation that we solved for finding out the frequencies. So there, your in stiffness matrix, you are getting negative value. That's what caused the negative negative what is called eigenvalue, negative eigenvalue. That's the problem with your negative eigenvalue. That means your stiffness matrix are not defined. For example, let's say if this is your pen and you want to simulate this one, and you are applying a load and you are not restricting. There is no boundary condition over here. Then as soon as you try to apply the load, it will go like this. It will go like this. It will rotate. There is nothing to prevent. But if you are preventing it, then you cannot. The moment I am pushing it, it won't go. So if there is nothing to hold it, and it is rotating like this, that in that case, uh, it will give you the error like negative eigenvalue, because it is the solution is not converging. And if once you block it, then certain physics comes into play and you got your proper answer. And negative I'm getting error is that plasticity sweep algorithm failed to converge. Again, You have issues with the material property definition. You have issues with material property definition. Classical phase algorithm failed to comply. Material property definition. And along with the boundary condition. So both are the issue with your model. See, again I'm telling you, like this is a software where direct answer for a problem cannot be given. This problem that negative eigenvalue or plasticity creep algorithm, this could be due to many other factors, many other factors. The too many increments problem, many other factors. So direct answer in the given for this software is very difficult. Um, anyone, whether we get past these people, they're going to the comment. Anyone else? Ask your questions if you have any doubts or try to answer anything related to finite element simulation. You can share the chat, share the live stream, share the live stream. I can ask anything about the finite element simulation or ABAQUS simulation. Can I request can I request output? I forgot to request my analysis for 2 days, but I forgot to request the correct coordinates and setup. Is there some trick to work around this? There is no trick. You have to again go to step, go to history output, and there you define your desired output. It will give you the plot, or if you want to define in field output, then again you have to request the desired output variable, and then only you'll be able to get it. There are no direct or there are no tricks by which you can get it. Once you have submitted the job, it is the input file is locked. Whatever you have given the input, that is noted in the input file of your software. So in your work directory, you'll be getting a file called .inp file. So there everything is written. Once it is written, once you have submitted, that is full and final. If you need to change anything else, again you'll have to do it, the changes and submit it. I don't know what analysis you are running. It should not take 2 days. You should like there are something is wrong with your problem. You can contact with me. I'll try to adjust. I'll try to do it as less as possible. And explicit, it doesn't take 2 days. Impossible. You are wrong. You are doing wrong simulation. And you contact with me. I'll try to negotiate whatever amount you want to pay. Just do let me know. I'll try to do it as in less amount. I'll solve the issue. Don't worry. Explicit, it doesn't take that much. I'm using dynamic build processor for my pavement. For the first 5 loading cycle, it shows 32 mm. Again, Ishanka, I need to know your loading cycle for each loading, whether you are increasing the load magnitude or not. Loading cycle means force 0 and peak force whether you are increasing your load magnitude on each cycle or not. Answer me that. If you are increasing the loading magnitude on each cycle, then material deletion and implicit, if material deletion and implicit, no, no, not possible, not possible. See what happens. The thing is that the material models which are capable of giving you the such material deletion option, those are basically barely available in dynamic implicit. That's why people use dynamic explicit. But in implicit also you will get such option, but implicit you will not get. You'll get convergence issue before the material can get deleted. Your material will not, your model will not converge. So that's why. See what happens in implicit. In each iteration, stiffness matrix, uh, there is a inverse calculation of its stiffness matrix. So if you have a elements of 10,000 by 10,000, then there will be a, and if you have nodes of 20,000 nodes, and each node having 6 degree of freedom, then 20,000 multiplied by 6. So that much, let's say 20,000 multiplied by 6, it will be 120k something. So 120k by 120k, that much stiffness matrix is getting inverse on each iteration. That's why there is a convergence issue, and you will not get that material deletion option. So that's why we prefer explicit. And Ishanka, material I'm looking for. It is possible in explicit. As I have told you, you contact me. I'll try to solve your issue. Don't worry. And Ishanka, I need to know whether you are increasing your load on each cycle. Each cycle means, as you have said, you have given 5 cycles, 5 loading cycles. So five for one loading cycle, if it is zero point 0.5 kilonewton, then second loading cycle it will be whether it is zero point 0.5 kilonewton or 1 kilonewton, or what is the load difference on each cycle, or whether you are increasing your load on each cycle or not. If you are increasing and still if you are getting 32 deformation, that means something is wrong to correct your simulation. And it shows 32 deformation. And for peak load, if it is 32 deformation, for the gradient, for the first loading cycle, for first 5 loading cycle, it shows that 32 deformation. And after that, even after increasing of load, it is not showing you any deformation. Then I have to look into the model, because it's very difficult to answer like this. You can give me more details whether you are increasing the load on each cycle or not. That is the curve. And moreover, how you are applying that load. So which method, or what is the material property, etc. You have considered material model. All those details are required. For material relation, Ask me any question. Who has joined? Come, ask your questions related to abacus. How can I see this? This is my first time in YouTube Live. Which one is shear stress? See, you have S11, S12, S22, and S33. Then S12, S21, and S23. So shear stresses are S11, S12, S21, and S12, S21, and S23. Sorry, S12, S13, and S23. They are the shear stresses. If you remember 3D or 2D planes of stresses, you have studied in strength of material subject. Let me switch on my light. But there are other stresses too. Which one is shear stress? Shear stress is S13, S23, SS12. These three are shear stresses. Yeah, beam apply load and mirror of the one shear stress. In a beam apply load in the surface. I want shear. See, if you are doing your 4 point bending test, in 4 point bending or 3 point bending, if you want to find out the maximum shear stress, the shear force, I'm talking about shear force, not shear stress. Shear force is nothing but the reaction that you are extracting from the two ends. That is your shear force. So if you remember the problems that you have solved in strength of material, you have a beam and two reaction force, two support conditions are there. One load is acting, then you find out the reaction force, then you plot the shear force diagram. So you start from this reaction force. So that is your reaction force. Now in shear stress, so there you have to look for the direction or the shear stress on which you are interested. For example, if you are interested, if this is your uh, two axis, this is your one axis, this is your two axis. So S12 shear stress in one plane in two directions. So see, this is x, this is y. So S11 will be this, S11 will be this, S12 will be my finger, the way my finger is pointing out. That direction will be S12. So you need to go through the basics of strength of material, you will understand. All these confusions will be cleared up. A little bit just go through the basics of strength of material. Share this live stream so that any other people who are interested, they can join. So I should look for reaction force at every step. At every step means I think you are simulating in one step. You will be looking for the final reaction force. If you are looking for shear force, and if you are looking for shear stress, then look for S12, S13, and S21. S13, S12, and S23. These are quite confusing. Not confusing, little. It sounds same. Pucho, pucho, jara, pucho. यार ये अगर स्ट्रीमिंग होता ना तो और अच्छा है, लेकिन स्ट्रीमिंग के लिए पता नहीं कैसे होता है, देखना हो. अरे दीपेश भाई कितना सवाल है. Also when I try dynamic expression and give cyclic after certain model. खतरनाक भाई, खतरनाक. It's too funny. When I tried dynamic to give cyclic. After certain increment, my model goes flying. Oh, baap re baap. Comedy. Are you comedy me? तुमसे दिपेश यार तुम्हारा मॉडल के साथ इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी देन राइट यस so that मुझे पता चले कि मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ वो समझ में आए तो भाई तुम्हारे मॉडल के साथ सीरियस इश्यू है तुम कांटेक्ट करो मैं देखूंगा कितना अमाउंट तुम पे कर सकते हो उसके हिसाब से मैं कर दूंगा तुम्हारा मॉडल फ्लाई करता है यार गजब का प्रॉब्लम है भाई मुझे लगता है ना तुम्हारा मॉडल जो है ना उसमें जैसे तुम एक्सप्लिसिट और साइक्लिक एम्पलीट्यूड देते हो उसमें उसका पंख आ जाता है और उड़ने लगता है फ्लाइंग सही है गजब का प्रॉब्लम है गजब बेइज्जती है एबेका सॉफ्टवेयर बाप रे बाप गजब क्वेश्चन कोई नहीं होता है एक्चुअली सी सी लिसन टू मी this is this is really funny that your mother goes flying. Trust me, you contact me. I'll try to do it as less as I can for your model. You have lot many problems in your model. I have to look into it. Why it goes flying? I have to just trim off its wings. In a cyclic load, right? Then this being goes flying. Seriously. Yes, yes, okay. See, as I am telling you, I can't tell. I can't. I can't. But I don't have answer for this. I have to look into the model. Then only I can tell you what is the problem. Direct answer is not possible because this is quite it seems quite complex issue. All these things plays in. See, you have to understand physics. You have to understand physics. If you see that software is dumb, no doubt, but it sticks to its basics. It sticks to the Newton's third law of motion, Newton's first law of motion, okay, Newton's second law of motion. All these things are, you know, the software stick to these laws. So whatever you are doing, you have to know. Initially, I was telling you at the beginning that you have to know what you are doing. If you just give random input without any logic or without proper physics, then you'll get such behavior. So you have to give proper physics. I'm hungry now. Now I'll eat biscuit. By that time, you ask, your model goes flying. I'm also hungry. I'll also fly. Yeah, this is required. Quasi-static condition is required. But how we will be applying? And there are many other things that if you are applying cyclic load, then what loading rate you will be giving. That's what I was talking about. Newton's laws of motion. You know, and just telling you that okay, quasi-static analysis. But how to do? That is the primary issue. You cannot just this, if somebody is telling you to do quasi-static analysis, first you have to know how to do quasi-static analysis, isn't it? So for that you have to find out the loading rate. Now you try, you apply any loading rate, your model will go flying, isn't it? So if it is a beam and if you are applying cyclic load, try to simulate it in implicit only or static general. Then your model will not be flying. And still, if your model is flying, then you have to find a proper loading rate so that then again the problem with explicit that if you are simulating it for a very higher time it will take very long time to solve it. So there are many other issues. Yeah. I don't know why you are so much interested in element deletion. If that is your primary issue, primary goal, then you should just go for explicit, etc. But if you just want to know the damages, etc., then you really don't need to do with element deletion, because trust me, I've been doing lots of work, lots of projects, and element deletion things are especially used by mechanical people. When I say mechanical, means when if they are simulating a fiber, or because their analysis is kind of composite, etc. But in civil engineering, we are really not interested in micro failure. We are interested in the major failure, isn't it? That's why, if you remember, a beam, we do not, we barely use a 3D element. In civil engineering, if you see the software, STAD, SAP, ETAB, all these softwares are based on beam element. They simply idealize the beams or columns as beam element, and then they solve it. We do not consider about the micro stress concentration until unless it is a very special case. So for your case, what I have understood from your questions, that it is a beam element, sorry, beam. You are simulating either 3 point bending or 4 point bending. So in that cases, you have to just stick to the static general or dynamic implicit. And if nothing works, then proceed with explicit. But again, you have to take care of the loading rate. It's not headache. It's not headache. Spend some money. I'll solve your issue. It's not headache. It is headache if you do not know the physics of your problem. Initially, I was telling you, you have to know each and everything. If you want to make a model of RC beam, then you have to behave like a mason. Mason means those works in the field, those people who actually construct the building. You have to do modeling like that, and you have to know each and everything about your physics. Because see, if you are simulating the same thing in a STAG or SAP or ETAP, there, even if you are making if you are even if your modeling is not correct, if you are making mistakes, software itself will correct it. It will prompt you, it will give you error message, which you'll be able to detect it, and you'll be able to decode it, and you will be able to solve that issue. But in Abacus, there is no such option. If it gives you an error, that doesn't that does has, that do have many other reasons. If it is giving you too many increments, that means there could be n number of reasons for which you are getting this too many increments problem. So software is not headache. You have to know. That's why I am there as an expert, or many other experts are there. We have worked, we know, because we have been working in many other things parallelly, so we know how to do this thing. And even if you contact me, I also need some time to decode it, isn't it? So that's how it works. That's why I take money, isn't it? Because it takes time to decode the problem. Software is not headache. You have to just know the proper way for simulation. मेरा कुछ म्यूट। अच्छा, there should be some option by which you can just switch off the video. Toggle timestamps. Participants. This is my first time in live streaming. मजा तो आ रहा है, बहुत मजा, बहुत। ज्यादा लोग आए नहीं लाइव स्ट्रीम। ऐसे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो। लाइव स्ट्रीम में तो कोई नहीं आते हैं। ऐसे मैसेज बहुत करते हैं। पूछो भाई, पूछो। इसको क्या इशू? Is there anybody present? Then they can ask their questions. If not, then very good. Ask your questions. Questions पूछो अगर कुछ पूछना है तो. Ask me if you have any doubt. पूछो 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 कुछ तो पूछो. There's views. So I should end the live stream now. Bye bye.